not see a wink?
I saw the wink.
I was blinking.
I thought I missed it. Like, oh no, then you did it.
That was a blink.
Yeah, the one eye blink.
I was messing with you.
I guess that was the
Okay.
payback for the echo. Okay, wink, wink.
You gotta watch the whole face movement.
We did. It was a one eye. It was a one-eyed blink. We'll get that someday. Good evening. This is HNN, the Hollow Table News Network. See, is you're not even remotely close to around-the-clock Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes news, reaction reviews, theory crafting, and more sorts. I'm Faith34, your host. Today we are joined by my two distinguished co-hosts. Welcome back, Sir Georges.
Thank you, Faith34.
And the ever wonderful Celiac Sarah. Good to have you back.
Hi, friends. How are you?
Well, I'm swell. Back in the swing of things now. It's just right where everything should be. So as always, we'll start the show with your HNN headline news, of which we have 4 headlines. Number 1, just diving right in. I believe he's tooling with you, sir. The finalizer has arrived. Sarah, give us a patented no-look rundown of the finalizer.
No luck. All right. That's side note, one of the best lines in this.
I had to get that in there. That was immediately what I think of every time I see the finalizer.
Great. All right. So finalizer. So obviously General Hux's capital ship. First order dark side. That's not surprising. All right. So basic ability, lay waste. Okay. Deal physical damage to target enemy. If the target is hunted, okay, deal damage a second time. Target ally gains critical damage up for 2 turns, and if they are first order, they are also called to assist, dealing 30% less damage.
So critical of a new debuff.
That was my favorite part of that whole thing, was just this like disdain at calling it hunted. It was right. Gross. Now I'm going to think of that every time I think of hunted. I mean, to me, I'm like, that makes sense. That's what they did the whole movie. Hunted, cool. Sarah.
I can understand it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not like they were all like, "Oh, we're gonna go hunt them." Like, it's so cheesy. Oh man. Okay. Doesn't tell me what hunted does yet, though.
I was confused.
Yeah, that's it.
I was confused when I first read it because I thought, is there going to be some kind of bounty hunter synergy?
Oh.
But no, spoiler alert, there's not.
There's not.
Darn. All right. Special 1, Quell. Only a 2-turn cooldown. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict offense down and target lock for 3 turns. If the target is resistance or hunted, these effects can't be resisted. But they could be evaded.
Yes. Tis true.
All right. Still don't know what hunted is. Special 2, Ravage. 4-turn cooldown. Deal physical damage to all enemies. This attack deals 100% more damage for each hunted enemy. That's nice.
A lot more damage.
That's not that special?
Oh. No, you don't get your hopes up.
Hunted is just letting me down all over the place. Special 3, Ultimate, Extinguish Hope. Oh, that's sad. Sorry. All hunted enemies lose 35% turn meter, and the target enemy becomes hunted until they are defeated, which can't be copied, dispelled, prevented, or resisted. Then deal physical damage to target enemy. Jesus. First order allies gain defense, penetration, and offense up for 2 turns. This ability can't be evaded and is available for use at the start of the battle. That's cool.
It is cool. I like that.
That's cool. All right. Oh, and now I learn. Okay, hunted. Deals 75% less damage with out of turn attacks and can't gain bonus turn meter. All right. That's like an unfortunate. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it would be worse.
Mm-hmm.
From what perspective are you saying bad? Like it's a bad move, or it's not too dangerous to?
I think
It's
she's
not-
saying for the enemy is attacking
I thought it would have more of an. I mean, I guess it has an impact. I thought it would have more of a.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Like if you're being hunted.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
There's a bounty on my head. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, go have a drink and keep going.
I'll just go to some planet and free these Native American people.
Oh, oh man.
Mandalorian.
I got it.
Okay, good.
For one episode and then leave. That was the worst episode.
Yeah.
The worst by far.
Oh man, we haven't even gotten to his unique. Okay. 2 steps ahead. Spoiler alert, Hux, you weren't. Oh. At the start of a battle, the Finalizer gains 15 speed for each other active first order ally until the end of its first turn. All first order allies active at the start of battle have plus 50% max health and have their reinforcement abilities activated. Debuffs from them are not inflicted though. First order allies recover 25% health when they critically hit an enemy. If a first order ally defeats a hunted enemy, that ally gains 25% critical damage, stacking max 5 stacks until the end of battle.
So another nice little hunted
That's
thing.
nice. So you're going to want to start your first order ships with him.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe not.
I have thoughts. I have opinions on this.
Yeah, what about the reinforcement bonus, though?
Okay. Reinforcement bonus. Reinforcements gain advantage for 2 turns. If the reinforcement is first order, they also gain 25% critical damage until the end of battle, and the Finalizer gains 30% turn meter. Man, this is going to involve a lot of math for me.
Too much math. The word hunted, I mean.
Like now I'm going to have to figure out, is it better to go for 30%? Actually, no, side note. Doesn't matter because I don't have it. But is it better?
Numbers.
I'm hearing a lot of numbers, and is it better to go for 30% turn meter? Well, actually, yeah, I think it is, right? Because you're 15.
What is better?
Well, I think it is better to get
in the
30%.
long run. Sure.
I don't know. Now I don't know. I am so torn.
Because
he only gains the 15 speed for his first turn.
Yes.
So he's gonna go back to regular speed.
Yeah, but you need it to like outspeed the other capital ship. Like if you're gonna outspeed it anyway, it's not a big deal. But I think the whole point of this ship is to get out ahead
and get to hunting.
And get to hunting.
Yeah.
Okay. Thoughts?
All right. Yes, Sir G, what are the thoughts?
I was looking forward to this ship a lot. And then as I started reading through, it builds up hype for Hunted.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's a letdown. Especially when this is only one special can do Hunted.
There you go. Yep. That's
a good point.
That's the only way to apply it. I doubt you will ever get more than 2 hunts out in a single game. And even then, getting the second one before already knowing whether you're going to win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
It's annoying. And then what you read in the unique and reinforcement, not knowing which one to do, kind of sums up how I feel about the kit. That there's so much potential with stuff.
Yeah.
Then they make it so that it doesn't even matter. Because he's got a special where you get 100% more damage for each hunted. Mm-hmm. Well, if you've only got 1 hunted, and it's a weak ability, I looked up the power level of it on swagga.gg. And with the 100%, it only does, I think, about as much as the special one Quell. It's an AoE, but still.
And there's no way, for some reason I was like thinking this in my brain, but there's no way that hunted like spreads from your
Nope.
the enemies. It's that ship and that's it.
Right. And then if you
Correct.
look at the special, his ultimate, all by itself, it just does damage and puts hunted on a single enemy.
Yeah.
As far as ultimates go, that is lame.
It does
First order allies
something
gain
else.
some.
There you go. Yeah, offense up.
Still, I'm disappointed. But the coolest part, and what makes me want to play with this ship, has nothing to do with his abilities, but just because I'm curious about the plus 50% health and healing from critical hits that the First Order gets from his unique.
It sounds like he is supposed to make it easy for the other First Order ships to quote unquote catch the enemies and deal harder damage.
Yeah.
That my takeaway from this. But he's not actually supposed to do a lot of damage. I can't see him doing a lot of damage.
But that's what they hyped him up for.
Yeah.
Like he's the opposite of the
Radis.
Radis. He's all about offensive moves.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're lame.
Yeah, I actually think that's a pretty fair assessment. And again, to be true to the movie, that Finalizer doesn't really do any damage itself. It's the it stays back and does the little shots, whereas the other ships at least go in there and make flying Leia and stuff like that. So I think that's right. And I'm totally with Sergi on that's exactly. They need another ship that puts out hunted.
Yes.
That would totally change the entire scenario because, like I said, I think you would rarely get more than one. And the battle would almost certainly be decided by that point if you were to get the other ones. Using it in the event, because I had to do the last event several times because my ships aren't very good for it to get the extra 10. I don't think I ever got hunted more than maybe once or twice did I ever get 2 of them out there. And it didn't really make much of a difference.
What they should have done is, well, for one, hunted doesn't do anything to an enemy that doesn't attack out of turn.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't gain bonus turn meter. Okay. But if they... go ahead.
I was just going to say, and it just is dealing a little bit less damage.
Right.
Otherwise, it's not really...
So it's not even as good as Days.
Yeah.
Because they can still attack out of turn.
Yeah, it is not as good as Days. That's a great way. I mean, it's basically Days with 25% damage to the...
And whatever negative effects or positive effects come with that ability, the basic on the enemy. So it's worse. It's a lot worse than Days.
Oh, yeah. That's true. I gotcha.
But what would have been cool is if they added to the First Order ships in game already a unique that interacts with hunted. Like they did with the bounty hunter ships, whatever that debuff is.
Yep.
Make it where if an enemy is this
breach.
Right, breach. If an enemy is hunted, then they lose 25% critical chance.
Right.
Or they get that new thing.
They do that with adding the critical damage, but that takes a while to build up.
Yeah.
And is not in the kits of the ship.
Right. They should have added that opposite of crit immunity, that new resistance thing that Poe does where the guaranteed
vulnerable.
Crit. Yeah, they should have added that.
Wait, what is that called again?
Vulnerable.
Got it. Thank you.
That would have been cool. Add that to hunted enemies or something.
Yeah, it's a little, I don't know. I don't love it. It's a little lackluster.
Well, I'm not a good...
I say
my First Order are terrible, so I'm not a good judge of it, for sure. I think it could be an offensive... From what I saw of some early videos, like, clearly Crew is hitting very hard.
Yeah.
So
I have pretty good First Order. I've been focusing on them for the Galactic Legends. And they still get destroyed if you're not... Like, even the videos that show them doing well. It's very specific. You have to be on offense. There's still no tank that can reliably do well for you. And, like, trying to fight against a rebel fleet the rebels still do so much damage that they kill crew immediately.
Yeah, and he's your heavy hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's your only guy, right? I mean, he's essentially the Jedi Knight Anakin to the Finalizer, right?
Yes. Except he doesn't get to survive a death shot like
Yeah. All right, so I mean, not glowing reviews of the Finalizer so far. So I think that basically means in a month it'll be totally meta because we'll have it totally wrong on those ones on there. But I'm glad it's in the game, and they, the same as the one before. You can get a 4-star unlock for free, but then 10 per time with the release event. But they are going to run them 2 times a month so far anyway. So before they were like once or twice a month. And to me, that meant maybe once a month, if not once every 2 months on their previous history. But they legitimately have been and have it set up on the calendar every 2 weeks.
Yeah, twice a month.
So instead of unlocking in 12 months, you can do it in 6 to 7. I mean, it's not anytime soon, but you can refresh on them. It could be worse, I guess, but it's certainly going to take a long time. This is the last I will be hearing of the Finalizer for many months. For myself, until, again, we find out that it's really awesome in combination with, I'm sure Hunted in particular is going to be the thing that makes it work out the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's really gonna make it work.
Oh, Hunted. I think we should have just ended the show with
that's the show
with your reading of that. Not even our commentary on it, just your reading of it. I also, Sergi, we need to have since Sarah's not reading these ahead of time, we should have several comments earlier on when she's reading it and be like, oh, just wait, that'll be important later, but not be important later, and just have her keep focusing on those things. And we can tool with her, if you will, and make that work.
They say that Houndstooth is great synergizer with this ship.
Hunted. Yeah,
Hunted pairs with Breach, and together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. If you got a Breach and you're being hunted,
yeah,
the
whole
works
breach.
for me.
They're on our tails.
But they can't. They're being hunted.
Kamikaze into them.
Right in the breach. All right. Finalizer, enjoy. Number 2, they had a question and answer. I would now barely pay attention to them. So I, similar to Sarah on the kits, have kind of just stopped reading them so Sir G can tell me what's important about it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of weight on your shoulders. Tell us what was important in the Q&A, especially all the art stuff.
I've had a busy week, so I haven't really
haven't
really gone through and read all these.
Now even he has given up on these things that were like, yeah, these will be good.
The only thing that I took from it, I did actually look at it a little bit.
Good, great.
And I posted this in Discord, so Faye, you might already know this anyway. The only thing that I took from it was that they confirmed that for Galactic Legends, when you spend your tickets, whether you win or lose your attempt, you're going to burn your tickets.
As you brought up I think you guys talked about it last time, and I hadn't even thought about it.
I did. So they did confirm that, and then they still haven't said where in the game we're going to earn them. They just said through gameplay, I think it was. I gotta find this question again.
So are we implying that this is going to take, it's the general Skywalker event and you really need 5 tickets if you need 5 attempts and you'll beat it, or we're going to need 200 tickets because you earn 5 shards every time?
I think we're going to need hundreds of tickets for an attempt.
You think shards? Separate
I think
shards?
we're earning shards, yeah.
That'd be cool.
I think it's a mini, I think it's It's a 7-star unlock, but I don't think we unlock it right away. I think we're going to have to repeatedly do this, and it's going to drop shards every time.
But like that's what it would have to be, a totally different styled event, because I do not want to play the Clash on Camino 30 times.
And
that's just stupid.
They did confirm that it is going to be easier than Clash on Camino, and the Padme event, I think they said, and Malik or whatever. But because if you think about it, like logically think about it, if they're implementing a new ticket currency, for lack of a better word, a new ticket type, and then you beat the event, say you beat it on your first try, okay, now what do I do with those tickets that you've implemented?
Now you save up for the other one that you didn't do. But yeah, I totally agree with you. But if it's easier, that's even it's an even dumber reason to have the tickets. Like, then you're just hitting auto. It's doing assault battles.
So this is exactly what they said. You will need to engage in the core game to earn the new tickets. And there is a cap. That's the one thing I forgot. There is a cap on how many you can hold. So it's like a raid cap, right? Your guild tickets cap out. Your tickets are consumed upon attempting the event, and win or lose, you will need additional tickets to play the event again. And that was what I also took away from it. Win or lose, if you want to play it again, you need tickets. So why are you playing it again if you won already?
Yeah.
Right? The event itself is not intended to be the challenge level we have seen in the past with units like Malik and General Skywalker, so expect better success rate for each attempt. That was all I said.
So that I actually like the cap because it means, use them, and it shouldn't. Hopefully, you don't need to hoard a bajillion of them.
Yeah.
But like you said, win or lose.
Yeah. Just
why would you do it if you're not?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you use tickets for tier 1, and you have to save more for tier 2.
That's true. Yeah. That's a good point. And it's not like you earn one a day, but you need 5 tickets for tier 1.
Right.
10 tickets for tier 2. That type of thing.
And they didn't confirm yet. They just said in the core game that we'll earn them. So it could be like my guess is spending energy, you'll earn them. Some people were saying putting it in like arena payouts, which I would.
No, I don't. Yeah. I'd be all for that, but I highly doubt it.
Maybe they'll just drop it into your like daily reward.
That would be if that's what you earn it through the day. I bet it's just like part of, like they have you get 2 crystals when you do your 3 of those battles. They add another ticket to those things.
What if they add it to hard nodes that contain the characters needed for the event?
That would be
such a.
At first I was like, that would be to even unlock it, CG. You need to, you'd already have them farmed. So
that would be CG.
That would be a terrible move.
Hey.
That sounds like it'll happen.
I think that's it. I think that's what they're gonna. Just like they said, how you could get the signal data through Cantina energy. Well, you mean use Cantina energy on the specific node that only has that now.
Yeah, and it makes everything else in there irrelevant.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good point.
They also confirmed, side note, that you cannot slice 4-dot mods to 5 dots. They will not be implementing that.
Okay, I was like, I can confirm that right now that you can't do that, but won't be doing it in the future.
Be doing it.
They've already answered that though. People just keep asking for it.
They just keep asking.
I did see about the new ships. They said, because somebody asked, what's the thought with Finalizer and Radis? And their answer was, we see capital ships as the leaders of fleet battles. You need one for each fleet you intend to use, yada, yada, yada. So their goal is to get as many capital ships into the game and worry less about where they will end up in the meta. The supporting ships in a fleet, like Anakin, go a long way in shaking up the meta. So once we've got a good handle on capital ships, we'll start introducing new ones. So maybe they will introduce more hunted first order ships in the future and are not worrying about getting an entire team up and running at once.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Radis is essentially useless.
Yeah.
Finalizer, maybe we can get some offense out of it, but Radis isn't. It's not. If it's not the first or second best ship, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to use the third best ship in the game, except for if you blow it on the first time. And even then, it's not going to be. You probably will lose on the second battle too. So there's just limited spots to use them, and it's a pain to actually change teams anyway because you can't save squads. It's annoying.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I think they'll put out new ships for them, right? Or it could just be a way to get money for Galactic Legends. I don't.
They have not confirmed that they would be needed.
You're right. You're right. We'll get to that. Get to that. Speaking of which,
do you want to go through and just look at questions and see if there's any other ones?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because I haven't looked at the whole list, but I know somebody asked about Clone Wars Season 7.
Yeah, I think they said that there's no plans right now.
Yeah, they just said we're definitely fans of the Clone Wars, and we're excited.
Someone did ask about Squad Order.
Oh yeah.
So they did say, this is a tricky one. It's not really that tricky. It's a yes or no question. Basically, he was like, there are other factors at work here beyond squad order placement, but if I being CG Miller, were determined enough, he would experiment with squad order placement until you find a result that you're satisfied with, and note that changes to the units may impact the order.
Which is a terrible answer.
Yeah, basically it's their non-answer saying
that's what the whole squad all of these. That's a great example of why these have been straight garbage. That doesn't answer anything, and as a matter of fact, it makes it more confusing.
Well, it's their way of saying, squad placement is a thing, but we're not going to tell you exactly how it functions and why.
They're not being secret about it. They literally don't know how their game works.
That's possible.
That too is a thing.
Because all he had to do was confirm the Geonosian thing where, whatever order you put it in the slots, that's the order it'll go. But instead, there's tons of different factors. So you might add a piece of gear and game decides to...
Right? That's like, I put my gear 12.5 and now my... Whoever does the tenacity down first goes after Poggle, so he doesn't do the ability block instead. Yeah. Because you added that. That's silly.
Yeah.
But is that actually true?
Yeah, they might have been just trying to
throw
people off.
Again, I don't think they're throwing people off. I just literally don't think they know how it works.
But I know that with the latest assault battle, people were having problems in my guild with it, and Daka wasn't zombie wasn't sacrificing properly or whatever was happening, and it was because of an AoE, and Daka wasn't in the second slot.
Yes.
Yeah, then that's we have that figured out.
But the assist is different.
Yeah.
Hopefully the assist is just the number of slots. Hopefully it does the same thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where to find that picture, but just a picture of the 5 Geonosians where they say leader goes first, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth. If that is the case, then if say the person in third slot, Geonosian soldier, does a move, will the leader go first, or will the person after him in the 5 go first?
Oh.
Until it comes back to him.
That's just convoluted.
And does the brute make a difference?
Yeah, where's
I bet
he
it
in
does.
the order? Is he always going to be last, or?
or is based on where alpha's at, and then that throws the other ones off. Yeah. I've never noticed, and they go so fast it's hard to tell.
I never thought there was a, order to it,
Order.
a method to it. Yeah, like just randomly, we see certain characters go, but they all happen at the same time, maybe.
I feel like maybe it would only matter if you have things like mass assists or something where they're all applying debuffs, right? Like this scenario, or like if you have GK calling everyone with his mass assist, but even then.
If we as a community could figure it out, that'd be great. Because if you could figure out if the last person to hit gets the kill, and you could make it where Poggle in territory battles gets the kill on a mass assist.
He gets the separatist loyalty or whatever it is.
That would be a big difference. But I don't know if the last person to hit gets the kill or if it's the one that actually does the initial kill.
I think it's whoever gets the hit that kills him.
Right. So then,
because when you do it with an assist, if you hit it and then the assister goes, whoever did the first one is the one that does it. So I do it all the time with Dooku.
Yeah.
Like you have to have enough health left that when the battle droid does it and then you call him in for the assist, you don't want the battle droid to kill first. You want one of Dooku's 2 hits at the end there to be the one that kills him. But if you do Dooku first and then battle droid or whoever assists, then he still gets it. So whoever does the killing blow in that scenario is the one that does it.
And someone else asked if the kits for the Galactic Legends have been finalized. And they said that they're in the final stage. There won't be a lot of changes, but may still need to make mechanical or numerical changes based on testing.
Okay.
It irks me that we're having this hype and having to characters without knowing anything about the kits.
Literally nothing for.
They don't.
No, that's not true. We know.
Still figuring it out.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. This is very like. Isn't this what we did with? Who was it that they didn't release the kit info for recently? Wasn't it Jedi Knight Revan or Darth Revan? It was like the day before that they released his kit, and everyone was panicking.
Yeah, it kept getting later and later.
Yeah.
I think Revan is what you're specifically referring to. Yeah. There was one in particular that it was like a day before.
Like a day.
Yeah.
And everyone was panicking for a character we knew nothing about for weeks.
But as all
said it was coming.
Yes, I would be beyond shocked if these two weren't fantastic. Like for all the hype and what they're putting into it. But now, which one of the two is more fantastic?
Yeah,
that's to be determined, because I truly don't trust that they're going to have them equally be balanced.
Yeah,
that's never been a thing where they've released something that was both metas at the same, like a 50-50 meta released at the same time. So maybe they got it figured out.
Then someone asked if the gear crunch was going to be relieved anymore, because the new assault tiers are helpful. And CG said that that's it for now. The assault tiers are the way to help the gear crunch.
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah, that's like, I don't get me wrong, new assault battle is great, but it doesn't alleviate the gear crunch. That's throwing like a milliliter of water on a fire type of thing. But I'll take the water. We're dying of any thirst down there.
Yep.
Any other comments?
I am looking through. You move on when you want to, Faye.
I mean, I'll move on now because Q&As are Dumbo.
Someone asked, are mythic events ever returning?
That's
who cares about
why? When they already have one, they've also said it like 4 different posts. That was part of their own post, and then the State of the Galaxy, which is fine that someone doesn't know that. The question doesn't bother me. It's the like them answering it. Like, why waste your time on?
Because then they don't have to answer the questions
Real
that people
correct.
want them to answer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then,
And they can probably answer that question without needing a lawyer to look over their shoulder and make sure they aren't giving too much away.
And then now that I'm looking through, they have a lot more vague comments about a new PvE game mode.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the questions they get are very different in what they're asking for, but the answer is pointing back to a single new PvE game mode that is going to somehow be changing and catering to all these different wants. So someone asked, will there ever be any more new PvE content, not counting events with increased difficulty, added nodes, or a single player raid or territory battle? They said, yes, we're building a new PvE game mode in addition to new PvE authoring systems, which will let us produce content more efficiently for players.
Cool. That'd be great. That's what they've said at the last 3 of these, right?
Yeah.
I'll believe it when it's in the game.
Will you make an infinite journey mode, kind of like Galaxy Wars, but something that doesn't end and you keep fighting more and more difficult odds? And the answer was, there are aspects of this that we put into the DNA of the new game mode we're building. We're really hoping for a rich PvE experience.
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, an
Believe
endless
it
when I
mode
see
would
it.
be good. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll hopefully, yeah, whatever. Isn't March like our quality of life time of year?
I think so.
Right?
Is it?
Something
That
big is
happens.
supposed to happen this month.
Well, I mean, the Galactic Legends are
Right. One of the past Q&As where you have very important information, they said that there was going to be a big, or a title update, something like that. They only have these every so often. There's going to be one in March, June, and then the other one wasn't until later in the year. So something big is supposed to come game-wise this month. And I want to say more than just Galactic Legends. So it goes with the theory that maybe there's going to be a new game mode that comes out with the Galactic Legends that they're specifically useful in.
great.
Maybe.
Count me in. Well, other than whatever new mode it comes with, then the main reward will be a thing that we don't want to get, like ship mods or something like that.
Oh gosh. No, thank you.
Yeah, agreed. All right, on to number 3. The thing that always should have happened from the beginning. Vet smugglers Han and Chewie joined the Resistance.
Yay.
Sarah, how do we feel about that?
Yay! I'm always happy to have more Resistance characters. I'm good with this.
What if Hux joined the Resistance?
No.
Yes.
Hux can't sit with us.
But this was one of those, like, remember like the mental gymnastics they were going through in the beginning when that came out, to be like, oh no, it's like them at this snapshot in time, which became their mantra for a lot of things later on. But things like 3PO and R2 weren't and never had been, and they clearly, even though it's not, even when they were doing their own thing, they were clearly still on Leia's side. It's not like they were going to just be scoundrels without being part of the Resistance with whatever. It was always silly from the very beginning. It was, I think, a main part of it was just how ridiculous Finn Zeta was, and they just didn't know how to handle it. So they just we just can't put him in with Resistance because we got to do that. And they ended up nerfing Finn anyway. So. And
now the Resistance are so outdated that they don't even care anymore.
Correct. That's exactly that was the. So then they tried to they could have said that versus the.
Yeah.
Oh well, no, it doesn't fit quite with the timeline type of thing. no one believed it at the time. And here they are. I'm glad they're part of it too. They did change their kits a little bit as well, to put them more in line with current. So instead of like 80% to inflict ability block for Vet Han, it's just like inflicts ability block. And then also their uniques, instead of just working with each other, granting like critical damage or critical damage when they get hit, and when they share them, they don't only share them with each other, they will also do it with a resistance ally in the leader slot.
I wish they kept the name of the new one sucks compared to Partner in Crime. Just sounds cool. Resistance Rapport.
That was the yes. Yeah, I'm with you. So yeah, before it was called Partner in Crime, works out, and then Resistance Rapport. And I'm a big fan of the word rapport.
Yeah,
count me in.
Yes.
I use that. But it just doesn't work. Like that's the opposite of scoundrel.
Yes. Would you ever hear Han and Chewie say rapport?
Talk about their rapport together? Like that's why we make a good team, because of our rapport.
And like I can see why they changed it, because now they don't.
Yeah.
It's but also like you could have just made it partners in crime.
Yes.
Because they're still only.
They're no.
It's still only with either the other one or the leader. Like it's not like if you have Scavenger Ray, if she's defeated, it doesn't matter.
Correct. Well, unless you had Scav Ray as the leader.
Well, no.
Do you guys see the changes as useful? Are you going to use the squads now?
Well, we'll get to that in a second with the new requirements. So yes and no. I think like currently right now, if you had them, I would absolutely try to fit them in with the other resistance. I bet there's a place to put them and have them work out well. Because they're not bad characters. They have their uniques can make them hit hard and have decent stuns and stuff like that. They're not a Sith Empire new type of, they're not Bastila Fallen level. But I think it instantly makes them from complete garbage to certainly higher than Rose or Resistance Pilot, maybe on the level of Poe, OG Poe.
OG Poe.
Yeah. So we'll find out. I'm actually surprised. I don't know. Maybe there have been people. Oh, wait, that's why. I was like, I'm surprised I haven't seen videos of it yet or anything. But they're not even changed in game, are they?
No.
They had it in the update, but they didn't actually literally update it. So we're talking about this. You still can't use it in the game yet, by the way. But gosh, is there a reason why they updated Han and Chewie right now? That seems strange, right? So number 4 brings us to the new requirements, phase 3 of the Galactic Legends. We'll start with the wild card, and yet it makes sense. I'm totally fine with it. For Kylo Ren, third ones require Sith Trooper, Relic 5. So that's the new one, not the one we all want to call Sith Trooper, but the red one. Fost of Suspa at Relic 3. And Vet Smuggler Han Solo at Relic 3. I thought there was a small chance they would have it with Rey. I didn't even consider it with Kylo Ren. That's a bummer for people that were like, all right, I'm on this path. Oh, that really came out of nowhere. But
it's cool.
Of all the weird requirements, that it makes sense. I'm on board with it.
I will say I had like a small thought when before they even started showing requirements, when we just knew that they were coming and that you were going to need all of these characters for them. I had a thought. I didn't know who it would be, but I was kind of inkling with, or it was in my head that they weren't necessarily going to all be like Kylo's or Rey's weren't necessarily all going to be all First Order or all Resistance, because it just doesn't make sense.
I knew that Rose was leaked as Rey's. So I thought there must be some equivalent, terrible, long forgotten character that they would have for Kylo. But I didn't think who it could be. Like if it was First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot, it who they also just announced was one of the requirements. I thought, he's not that bad of a character.
Right, yeah, he's certainly better than Rose.
Right, so I'd be okay with that. But no, they did find one that made sense, but was also long forgotten, terrible.
And like he gets the new resistance tag, and all right, well that certainly doesn't help Kylo.
Right.
During his thing there, so it's one that is at Relic 3. So now First Order has 2 Relic 3s because the new requirements for Galactic Legend Ray are everyone's favorite duo, the real Resistance rapport, Holdo and Rose. The most beloved of all Star Wars characters.
Relic 5.
Both at Relic 5. I thought maybe we'd get one of those would be the 3 ones. That is incorrect.
How hilarious is it that there are going to be all these elite players getting Rose to Relic 5?
But
as
spending money
as someone
to get
that
Rose
has it
to
there,
Relic 5.
Yeah.
I can assure you that she is still that bad.
She's still bad, eh? Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that in a little bit, but she really sucks.
So, just like sidebar, while we're on these requirements, did they not say at the very beginning when they were releasing the requirements that they all would not need relics? That not all of them?
They did.
They changed it. Were you gone that episode?
Here we are. Was I on that episode?
Yes,
they straight up they changed. They announced it.
Did I like fall asleep?
They reneged on that promise.
They straight up said, "You know what, guys? After internal review, we're going to make them all require relics."
Too many people are getting these to relic.
Yeah,
already meeting the current requirements, so we're gonna make it hard.
Make it.
And then people are willing to spend without us revealing anything about the kit. So let's just throw Rose in there, see what happens.
Yeah, worked out. As someone who's doing that, no, not spending. I haven't spent any actual money on it yet, but I've spent my time and resources in this game in Rose. You know what I mean? Like that's what I've done. So shame on me if it doesn't work out. On those same, like, I'm curious now, there is 485 Relic 5 roses. And I bet previously there were 10.
So there are people going nuts.
Yep.
Faye.
You were right. 1 in 500.
Yeah. Hey, don't like 495. I'm more special than that. And then Finn, Resistance Hero at Relic 5. He, on the other hand, is fantastic. Even at 4-star Gear 11, fitting him in with other Resistance works way better than a Relic 5 Rose. It's not even close.
Really?
I've done a fair amount of that, or tried to as much as we can, because we don't have any sandbox type of weighing. But putting in, like, I have arena people put in, like, Night Sisters and stuff. Rose is terrible. I'm really trying. My goal for like the whole week was to make Rose fit somewhere, and she just doesn't. But Resistance Hero Finn, he fits everywhere. He's great.
Yeah.
And under a Finn Zeta lead, because I did that. Because it's the best.
It's so good.
He basically has no cooldowns, so it just pops back and forth between
AoE
him.
After AoE?
Yeah, he can do that. He can swap turn reader and then do the AoE. He's good.
Heck yeah.
Good. So he is also farmable. Enjoy that. Luminara is the login tune for the month. Is that just a shout out to the Clone Wars, or are they going to do something with it?
I don't think they're going to do anything.
I don't think they're going to do anything.
I don't think so either, but I think like that would be a weird, we're doing all this Galactic Legend stuff, and oh yeah, here's the Luminara rework.
It's super weird.
I get it. I think they were clearly are going to do Clone Wars stuff, and brought it up that they were going to do Mace this year, essentially, in not so many words. But not this month would be my guess. And then for the new Grand Arena, which is currently happening right now, I hope everyone is winning. Smuggler feats. And crickets. No one seems to care.
Not happening.
Tis the news. Sergi, are there any streaming comments?
Sure. Let's check. Those listening, put in any comments now if you want us to look at them. Everything we're saying makes sense about the new Finalizer ship. But Mike said that he is in top 20 in fleet. First time ever with a 4-star Finalizer.
With 4-star.
First time in top 20 with him.
There we go.
That's good.
That is good.
So proving us wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have not had success. And I've tried to use my 4-star Gear 12 Hux, and I have not had success.
I don't have it, so I can't test it.
I really didn't want to unlock
like you didn't
it.
Do
but...
the event?
Yeah, no. Like
I didn't have the requirements.
Yeah, because I don't care about first order ships, so I didn't have a card.
Spoken like a real resistance hero.
Thank you. You know what? Maybe I just shouldn't do it just to. But no, that's a terrible idea. Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I could spam a crystal refresh here and try, and then no, it's not.
It's coming back soon. You missed out on 10 shards. Not the end of the world.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Well, that brings us to the I Love You, I Know segment. I know it's easy to get J by a game, but there's a reason why we're still playing it 4 years later. So each week, I'd like to talk about things we have enjoyed. Let's start with Sarah this time. What has been good?
I'm prepared this week.
Yes.
So
a year and a half later,
I am prepared. So we did this week. We just brought it back, and I thought it would be good because, oh my gosh, I can't remember who it was in our Discord server. I'm so sorry. One of our listeners was asking for a good I Love You, I Know. So
you actually put forth some effort.
So I put forth some effort, and this is good. This is good. So we brought back on Sunday nights. We in ODB do the Rancor game.
Yeah.
So what the Rancor game is on Sunday nights, if the Rancor is gonna launch on a Saturday night, instead of having it sim, we take the sim off, and the loser of the game from beforehand picks a theme. So it's totally optional if you want to participate in it. And so the theme we did this week was First Order. Your entire squad had to be First Order. And the only rule is that you can't use any raid reward characters, and you can't use any legendary, like hero legendary, CLS, Ray characters in your team. And the goal is to just be the first person to solo it or to get the highest damage with the theme. Or the one before this that we did was Price is Right 5 million. So you had to post your score, and you had to be as close to 5 million damage without going over.
Excellent. I like
so it's just like these little.
That sounds like fun.
So anyway, so I'm doing it with my, Gear 8, Gear 9 crew lead. Did not solo. But
were you the loser?
I was not the loser.
It was not the worst loser.
I was not the worst loser. I made it to, I think there was like 20% left in P2 before all of my guys just got eaten. They were just got
kind of forgotten about the eaten.
I was doing it. I was in phase 1, and I was like, man, I forgot you could get death marked in this. I'm like, what do I do? So it was just like a lot of fun, and you just and it's great because you have everyone spamming Discord with their posts once they've finished. And it's great. Like you just see how everyone's doing, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just something different to do. So I think we're going to keep it because we have a couple of people that bought the Hyperdrive bundle, and you have to, I guess there's a quest with Rancor door panels or something. So we figured we would keep it on Sunday nights, and they can get their quests in, and we can just have some fun.
Excellent. That sounds good. That's awesome. A good one, Sarah. Thanks for preparing.
Oh, you're welcome.
Sergi, top that.
I enjoyed nothing.
Yeah, that's it.
No, the Rancor game was fun. Because I've been working on my first order.
You soloed.
Yes, I got second, which I'm happy.
Oh, yeah. So you did solo it, but you got second in time, basically. Yes. Got it.
Right.
The person that did first used a Hux lead. I did the free-to-play characters and just barely got behind him. So I was happy about that. It was a lot of fun. I wondered if I should have gone in with just 4 people or just 3, and if it would have gone faster. But I did it on all auto, and the reason I wanted to do less is because First Order Officer kept giving it to Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot, his offense up and stuff.
And he should give it to Fox? Is that what? Yeah.
So then, because I merged that night, the one upside of that was that I then ran Rancor again, did Crew, First Order Officer, and Executioner, just 3 of them, which was not as I had hoped because the AI, I think, makes First Order Officer give the buff to whoever is weakest of your squad. Before they started making new AI changes, that's what the AI would always choose when it was choose an ally. It would always be the weakest. So he was choosing Kylo Ren Unmasked because once Executioner builds his health up.
Right, builds his health. Yeah.
Yeah. So then it was wasted tons of stuns on Raid Boss from Kylo Ren Unmasked.
It's hard to stun the Rancor.
Besides that was cool.
Excellent. And I, as I previously alluded to, just said, screw it. I'm all in on the Resistance. And did all, as you were going over it last time, I spent 6 Zetas. 6. On the Resistance and 1 on DACA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just for... which I still think was dumb. But I lost in territory wars to Geos, and I had won all of them previously. I had been like, I don't know, 4-0 and 5-0, but I lost. So I was like, I feel like that's punishment that I need to add to DACA. So I did that. But so like even Rose Tico has her Zeta right now and is at Relic 5. So
what?
we
didn't suggest that. That was not part of the...
Oh, no. That was just separate Resistance thing. I was just like...
He was trying to make her useful.
I was trying to make her useful. And no one else is going to do it. I'm trying to help the people. And she still sucks terribly. She's really, really bad. I can't figure it out.
Oh, man.
So even like... Against Night Sisters, like a solid, like 2 of them are Relic Night Sisters. I can't win with a Finn lead with Rose in there, but I can win with a Finn lead and Resistance hero. Finn is the 4th or 5th. She even like legitimately my 3-star Gear 9 Resistance hero Poe is better than Rose in there at Relic 5 with a Zeta.
That's insane.
It is. She's a weak attacker. Her specials have a ridiculous cooldown, even under the Finn lead, when they don't have that much of a cooldown. Like a single stun doesn't do nearly as much as it used to, especially against Night Sisters, because they just get a ton of turn meter anyway. Defense up is straight garbage against them. Anyway, I'm still working on it, but I enjoyed if I had a sandbox where I could actually fight a First Order team or Night Sisters or Geos or
whichever.
Any of these like C or B tier teams, I would be having a ton of fun with all of these old school Resistance. So right now, the best I can do is in PvE when they are dominating on mod challenges and trying to beg some people to switch to a Night Sister team or something. So I have done it some and I enjoy it. hopefully they just need to give Rose the Captain Phasma middle special where it doesn't just give her turn meter, it gives the whole team 50%. If you do that, she's automatically useful. Right now, not so much. I'm still trying. So if anyone has any tips on where Rose Tico fits, you let me know because I'm going to try it, but does not fit any better than, I mean, she fits worse than every single other tune in there, even at like 5. Her middle one gives herself turn meter and it reduces turn meter of the target enemy, but it can be whatever, resisted and all that garbage, and gives defense up. Yahoo. And then her other one stuns. Just stuns.
And then they turn into a daze.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know that I've ever actually seen that happen because
that's what it says.
Yeah, it just gets cleansed. Or I don't know. Maybe it has. It's just moving so quickly in the battle it doesn't do anything. Anyway, I've used Rose a lot. That's what I've enjoyed somehow. And shout out, as always, to our wonderful listeners. I keep forgetting where I've done it from, so I'm just picking US and throwing down Maquoketa, Iowa. Thanks for listening. Everyone out there is great. On to our That's No Moon segment and chatting about the fantasy draft finals and semifinals. First off, I put my defense out there a week ago, but Sarah and Sergi are like, hey, here, oh, let's do it an hour before the show starts. And then Sarah's opponent, Howie, didn't do anything. So Sarah is the automatic semifinals winner.
I function well when I procrastinate and put myself under stress. That is when I perform.
So until you hear otherwise, congratulations on third place, Sarah.
I'll take it.
And then Sergi and I in the finals. I do you have yours laid out for offense?
I have not decided anything yet. Do you have yours laid out for offense?
I did. I had an hour, but I did or less because I kept doing this other stuff and putting me under a time crunch. But I did figure out the teams.
I gave you an hour, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do not function well under pressure, do you?
I gave you plenty of time.
But anyway, it'll be hopefully on SergiGames.com,
yes.
SergiGames.com, SergiGames.com for the next episode on there. But to just go over, I specifically, a couple of reasons I wanted to mix it up and not put my General Skywalker on defense, and mainly almost entirely because I knew Sergi, if he hadn't done it an hour ahead of time, was going to spend a lot of time figuring out exactly how to beat that team. And it was very humorous for me to not have him be on defense. So that's 90% of it. But so I have a Newt team, a Palpatine, and an Ewok with Chewie on defense team. But it wasn't a total. You have some solid defense teams too. And I thought I was a little more worried about me not being able to beat one of your teams on defense. And then
the defense
I kind of went on an offensive strategy of I'm going to underman at least one and be a lot more likely on offense to win. Because if we both can only clear 2 and you can't beat the third one, then that really limits my Skywalker. It doesn't matter if it's Traya or Skywalker if neither of the teams can be beaten. So this wasn't I'm just not doing it and just doing it just for giggles. I still think that's a solid strategy, but I basically swapped all my offense and my defense from last time to the other way.
My strategy was not spending hours trying to defeat your gas because I knew that the voters would not believe that my Padme team could beat your gas.
Because you couldn't. It would literally be impossible.
It could too. No.
It is not.
I got 5 Galactic Republic. All I gotta do is stack up some courage.
Terrible ones.
No.
Not terrible, but
Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda.
Either without GK, it's gonna be a. I feel like I can easily put in a. I can have someone put in that team for me and just watch them get wiped up here. Yeah, Relic. It doesn't matter if you have Relic 90 Chewbacca. He's still gonna get.
I knew
beat
people
down.
would vote that way. So...
You mean like be right?
My strategy was to set a really good defense so that we would end up in that both win 2 and I would be more efficient. I did not expect your defense to be what you made it.
Yes. Which is still so Sir G has
my
a crew lead.
Not standard either.
A Padme and a Traya lead, so all good teams.
Have you looked at the teams?
Yeah, you put it on there. I told you I had to write the notes. I had my 15 minutes, so I came up with my defenses or my offenses too. I mean, I'm the responsible one here. Apparently.
So you have your offense. You have your offense teams.
Yes.
Okay. Go for it. You want to discuss it now?
Yeah, might as well. I have so crew lead on defense with First Order Executioner, Officer, and Bastila Fallen. That was a wild card.
Did you read that before, or did you just read it for the first time?
Well, I read it before, and then I decided my teams.
Okay.
My defense was already set.
You didn't sound like you were surprised by that before.
Well, I was surprised by it 20 minutes before the show when you gave me the information. But not now, because I came up with the offense for it. I have it written elsewhere to hide it from you. I have basically a full shock team against that. So Shock T, 5s, Arc Trooper, Cody, and Sergeant. Shock T, all those clones. A very nice win.
Versus what?
Versus the crew lead. Very easy win. You
do nothing. You're crazy.
Are you kidding me?
Sarah?
This is Bastila Fallen will be destroyed in 40 seconds.
You're
By
crazy.
40, I mean 4 seconds. And your team can't do anything against that. I'm shocked you would even think that it could.
I hope you went and listened.
Shock T is literally like the 3rd, maybe 4th best team in the game with these ones in there.
No.
They will absolutely
Then why wasn't she in Arena?
Wreck this because it's not first and because Skywalker is the one that's above it. I was beating literally every single team with Shock T lead. All of them. And in those in there, Padme, Darth Revan, you can beat General Skywalker, but it's more like 30 to 40%. A crew lead is laughable against the power of the shock.
Crazy.
I'm not even.
Won't Bastila go first and get fear up on everyone?
No, Shock T gives plus 35% speed, and even if she does, it's going to be a 1-turn type of thing. So she doesn't have a Sith leader. Shock is going to cleanse all of that away. Missing 1 turn is basically irrelevant. Shock T can cleanse it all. Arc Trooper.
What clones are you putting with Shock T?
5s, Arc Trooper, Cody, and Sergeant. Sergeant hits at Relic 3 because I have Sergeant at Relic 3 under shock, hits for 45,000 on his basic.
Not versus a crew, not versus
high defense,
sure. High health. No.
Yes, he will melt through a crew lead. And Fallen will get a couple debuffs off in the start, but that's who you target first. You have no tank. Then you go after Fox.
Kylo Ren unmasked.
And then you go around it. Well, yes, you have the tank, but Shock T and Arc Trooper
will not
cleanse like
him.
That.
No.
They cleanse the taunt off and can kill everyone else, and then we'll go right back to him and kill him very, very quickly. Very quickly. That one's an easy one.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, I understand you're trying to get some votes here, but now
Kylo Ren counters you does a critical hit, then gets to take another
or
turn,
like 4 damage,
and he gets his taunt back. All he has to do is do a basic on an enemy with a debuff, and he gets his taunt back.
And then right away, all he gets is see you back to the taunt has gone away again. And again, not needed. If you want to go through him first, that's totally fine. Arc Trooper and 5s and Echo and Clone Trooper, who also has a great AoE. We'll just go right through it.
We should argue next time. We should argue.
Let's hold on. I'm looking at here. Like I just looked it up on YouTube. Let me get to the end of it. It looks like the First Order team with Shockley T on offense with Cody as the 5th on there. It looks like it took away the protection from Cody at the end of the battle, aka everyone else is at full health. That's just a really quick. I'm looking at. I would just typed in Shock T and crew. So if people want to do some research and find out the truth, hashtag the truth, go with there. And then the other ones are a little bit, and then a Padme lead, like I said, I'm just going to use General Skywalker, Ahsoka, and Echo. That is all that will be necessary for your Padme team. It's a good Padme team. Those 3 will handle it very nicely.
You are crazy!
I'm not crazy, because you can easily, again, you could beat a great Padme team with that.
You are
setup.
Crazy. Okay.
I will have that set up.
I'm so glad. I'm glad you're going to do a 3-person undermanned versus my Padme squad.
There's nothing that Padme can do to get built up. Ahsoka and Echo can cleanse, and then they get no courage, and Yoda can't protect himself because there's no GK. You just go right for Padme or Yoda and game, set, and match. So that was the nice thing about saving them for offense is their easy wins. The Traya one's a little bit trickier, but then I remembered Django was made specifically to counter Traya. Like that's what happened when Django came out, was made to counter Traya. So the Django lead against the Traya team, which doesn't have Nihilus, by the way, and then has some Night Sisters, which not bad, but again, Django is going to be killing them with no revives. Works out nicely. I have all the counters. And we'll see what your offense is. But I feel like even if you clear all mine, which you might, I easily have the banner win. I'm feeling good about it.
Crazy.
Oh.
I mean, it is. Thank you. I appreciate how crazy good you think this is.
Django.
Yeah,
Django. Embo, Aura, Singh, Greedo, and Cad. Bane and Bane. And again, same thing. People can look this up. If you just look up Django versus Traya, the main difference is I don't have like Bosk and you don't have Nihilus, which is certainly an easy trade for me to take. I mean, and then you have Night Sisters, so that's hard to do. But the point is, Django was made to counter Traya. We can get her out, take out the Night Sisters with ease. There's no zombie or anything in there. Django's walking to get his payout.
Django was made to beat out Traya.
And he was. That's what he was made for.
No.
That's like if you look up Django's original videos, it's like Django takes down Traya and all the above.
True. He doesn't really take her down.
Oh, sure he does.
No.
Again, people, if you don't have to listen to my word and go to previous and look at videos and see all the evidence that you need.
Have you thought through how the battle's going to play out with Django versus Traya? Tell me how you see this playing out.
What do you mean by winning?
Django does his AoE.
Yep.
And then who else has an AoE? You think you're going to get your contract up and running?
Oh, for sure.
No, you've only got one
You can't gain turn meter. There's no like the Scion is
as soon as my characters take a turn,
but they'll take a lot of time. Django goes much faster, and 3 of your team can't cleanse that. So just the other 2 can. And by the time we get to that point, Greedo, Cad, Aura, and Embo actually all hit very hard when they get up to higher strength, and will be able to take down. You're lacking, again, the Nihilus and the cooldown reductions, stuff like that.
You might win,
making it worse.
But
that's what this one is. My less. The other ones are more counter, or we get. This one is the I will admit is not the full protection type of. I'm not going to get a full banner thing, but this is a win. It's a win. And that's what I was looking for. I was actually worried at first because I was like, I'm not sure how I'm going to get those ones split up. But then I remembered why Jangle exists, to counter Traya.
You think that your bounty hunters will be able to heal once Talzin does her AoE?
Yeah, they hit hard. They'll get their health steal back going.
No.
Or they'll already be under, depends when they do it. We have the contract up. They get a revive. There's going to be all sorts of ones to have it set up in there. But that is a legitimate, maybe you go after Talzin first for that reason. But Django can also get around the taunt. A single hit on Talzin.
Django will be
maybe not R3,
the
but
entire match.
He'll go first and won't be stun locked. Because they can't. First. Because they can't. I'll have a plus 30% or a 30 speed. So at least one of mine will go first. And they can't apply debuffs because of Django lead, reducing all of your potency to basically nothing when it comes to that point. I mean, you'll get a debuff or 2 off, but that's it. That's it. It'll be great.
You are crazy.
Crazy good.
You are crazy.
So we'll wait for your counter to be written on the Sergi games, and everyone can know where to look for evidence versus any snake oil that you might write. Sarah's like actually kind of like, uh-oh, are they? Yeah, right.
No.
I do. I do mean it.
You are crazy, sir.
Yeah, no, this is good. I thought this would be a more fun to talk about this way too. Then, on to last time. Sorry, Eric. You guys were a little bit slacking in the Discord corner. I'm not gonna lie, and this time you overcompensated for it. So thanks. You got a lot of questions on here. We'll semi-lightning round it. There's some great questions. I think we're not super overlong like normal, so we can certainly go into them. I appreciate it. Everyone join our Discord. Got quite a few new people recently. Lots of people with great comments. We love having you. Number 1 from a while ago, Jimbo, throwback question. What Zetas and gear levels do you recommend for Malik? Working on them now that I have finally unlocked a Darth Revan. Let's go with Sir G. You just unlock Malik. What do you do?
Even with the shifting of the game and Malik being more aged, he is one that is worthy of going to Relic 7. And I don't remember his Zetas.
Right, that's like his Zetas are so good to my recollection that like I just can't fathom them without it. I barely remember. I don't remember what they do. But it's I would say is definitely the Zetas and as high as you're comfortable with. Let's see here. One Zeta is it inflicts fear if they critically hit him.
That Absolutely. One for sure. You need that 100.
One. I mean, that's legitimately one of the best in the game type of Zetas. And the other one is whenever he gets down to the
thresholds bonus turn.
Yeah, the thresholds, he gets the bonus turn. Those 2 things make Malik.
Mm-hmm.
He needs both of those. So I would instantly go for both Zetas, and mine is Relic 3 or something like that. But I wish I had him at Relic 7.
Yeah, mine's Relic 4, because after that you need the more expensive salvage.
Right. Yep.
But yes, if I could get him higher, I would. Because you definitely want him gear 13 because of all the protection. And then the higher the relic, the more damage he does. So that once he hits that third threshold and gets 3 stacks of his, what's it called? Dark Infusion?
Yeah.
He can one-shot a lot of characters. And especially by then, characters don't have their protection as much. Easily, whatever health they have can one-shot them with his special.
And his armor and his defense, like all those things are a big part of who he is, and his relic adds to them. I mean, like they were meta when relics came out, and it only made them more meta because of him. Sarah,
Yep.
Any other thoughts?
I mean, if you're just unlocking him, so you've got him at 5-star. He's one of the characters that is good, even when you have him at gear 11. Throw his Zetas on there.
Yeah. Yep.
Even if you only have him still at 5 stars. So, like, I wouldn't let that be something that's holding you back either from gearing him.
One of the very few that's good at gear 11 these days.
Yeah. So, like, if that's something, then I wouldn't worry about that. Like, that's a non-factor. He's just going to get better. But yeah, I agree. You see him everywhere, and he is good. You've got him for Grand Arena, Territory Wars, Territory Battles. You can put him in. He doesn't necessarily have to go on your Darth Revan squad. If you can put him in, like, in Territory Battles. If you have to platoon your Darth Revan, you can put him with Traya, or you can put him somewhere else.
With
right?
Traya. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, he's definitely someone that's good to invest in, even if he is, quote unquote, a little aged.
Yeah.
Almost a year now.
Yeah.
Right.
And in the last year, with all the different OP tunes and all the Revan stuff, Malak is the best plug and play tune to come out of it all.
Right.
You can use him 1 versus 5 or on any team, and he's gonna work well and still do fears anytime somebody critically hits him.
Yeah, is he as like there aren't many teams that he wouldn't make better than, like a first order.
Mm-hmm.
If it was down to your 5th best first order or Malak, he will always be the best 5th choice for a lot of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I would definitely recommend him. I would say if you can try to get him at least gear 13. Maybe you don't need to make him relic 7, but he's a relic 7 Malak is what I run into all the time in Grand Arena, and it's not easy to beat. Number 2, Bruce Almighty, welcome to the channel. He had specifically asked on a side note about talking a little bit on some of the early play experience, because we certainly are a little more on the end game stuff, and which is a great idea. We've thought about before. It's just such a broad topic. We have a hard time knowing exactly what you guys would want, or if that's like, well, I'm past that point, or so we still, ask the questions. That's what the Discord corner is for, and was kind of one of the reasons that it started in the first place. So he has a very good question here. And if you are an early game player and feel like we're talking in things you're not going to have for a year or two, please let us know. We'll go over it. So he's at, early end game, about 900,000 GP. He has like Palp, Thrawn, BB-8, R2, CLS, and Padme with his next closest. I feel like that's super good for 900k, but
that is really good.
Should he abandon all of this for Supo Kylo or keep farming normal legendaries? I don't even bother attempting the event until I'm ready to 7-star them, which shows patience, and I feel like is actually fairly wise for most of them. There are some, like Padme, you might be able to get by when she has lower. Sarah, what should he do? I think we probably, like all 3 of us, could have different opinions on this.
I know. I wouldn't abandon it, just because there's still a few legendary characters that he doesn't have yet. There's heroes that he doesn't have yet. And we don't know yet. I mean, it could be different in a month once we know what's going on. We don't know yet what Super Kylo and what Super Rey are going to do. So it doesn't make sense to abandon your work right now and then realize that Super Kylo isn't going to work the way we think he is, or he's not going to be effective for you right now because he's too endgame or something ridiculous. So I personally would not do that. The good news is that because he's so focused,
right?
Like having all of those already at 900K is awesome. The good news is that a lot of what he's preparing for, he's going to need anyway to get one of the two. Because I mean, if he's going to go for Super Kylo, he's going to need veteran.
I never heard him as like Super Kylo, but it totally makes sense. I feel like he should. I do too.
If he's going for Kylo, if that's where he wants to start, he's going to need veteran Han. He's going to need veteran Han to get Jedi training Rey, and he's going to need Jedi training Rey to get Super Rey. So it's like this whole like web that he is going to be able to follow. It's just picking your starting thread.
Yep. Sir G?
This is a tough question. I would say that depending on what you're capable of, if you're capable of getting one of the new legendaries, the new Galactic Legends, then yes, you should abandon everything to get them. But if, because of where you're at in the game, even getting a single tune to Gear 13 is difficult,
right?
Let alone 13. If it's
13, so stupid.
If you think it's going to be, I don't know, 6 months of farming at your level just to get ready for a new Galactic Legend, I would not abandon everything, because the 6 months won't be fun. You won't be progressing in anything tangible until finally you get the Galactic Legend. But if you could somehow put all your focus into getting a Galactic Legend and be ready by the time it launches, like a late in-game player, then yes, by all means, you should switch.
The only thing I can think of that might be beneficial is if he can get ready for it, and if it ends up being that you earn tickets by, spending energy, let's say, he could get a twofold thing, because he could earn the tickets to do Super Kylo, but also be farming things that he needs for these other journeys and legendary events that he doesn't have. So he could be farming, I don't know, veteran Chewbacca or whoever it is you need for your
by all means,
Yoda and C-3PO and all that.
If you're capable of getting the latest meta, you need to, because any of these old tunes, these old legendaries, will not hold a candle to whatever is new, because that would defeat the purpose of CG making this the new thing.
Yeah.
They will actually nerf whatever is old or buff whatever is new.
Or new.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make it work.
Or new.
It's like, just like Jedi Revan destroyed everything. So at that point of the game, even if we didn't know the kit, now that we do, whatever you were doing is useless compared to just having Jedi Knight Revan. And it's been like that the last year with Darth Revan, Darth Malak, General Skywalker.
Yes. Yep.
Since
Traya, it has been a single meta type of thing. And I'm very similar for what you said. You look like you probably have some patience for this stuff. I think if you wanted to get to the top of your shard and were okay with waiting literally 6 to 12 months, picking one of the Galactic Legends after you hear about them and focusing on that would probably be the best option, but you're not going to have a lot of fun for 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, the big thing
is that you're so far away from that it's going to be, by the time you get to Super Rey or Super Kylo, the only thing you have to show for it is rows at Relic 5. Until that point, I will say .gg has a great new, like, this is how far away you are from the, it's fantastic. Yes. It is sad beyond belief how far I am from Kylo. Like it's like 1,500, maybe even 2,000 Carbantes and 1,500 stun. Like it's ridiculous, but you could theoretically, and then also not make your Grand Arena be terrible. Mm-hmm. Save it until you hit those numbers and go and do that. But again, I don't know if I'm 900K and you're starting the game. Like that's a real bummer. That's really a long time.
Yeah.
And so if I think General Skywalker would be a really good one to focus on, almost more because you get Grievous and Padme teams to get Skywalker, and they're all things you can work on in the meantime and are great teams in addition to that. Would be one to consider. But the main thing I would do is pick a lane and stay in it.
Yeah.
If you're going to go after Kylo, you have to go for that. The worst thing you can do is go for Kylo for 2 months and then be like, I kind of need Skywalker, and then try to get Padme, and then just pick one of the ones.
Yeah. Especially because if, like, using Skywalker as the example, he's not in the journey guide yet. So if you want that next, you got to be ready the next time he rolls around.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he'll be, I mean, a full year until he's in there all the time. So or whatever. So, 5 months he came out in October. So that'll put him at like 7 months from now.
Yeah.
And last comment I'll say is that at your level, probably aren't getting top 3 in Heroic Sith Raid. You probably aren't doing high stars in the new Geonosis TVs. So I don't see how you
get all that gear anyway.
Right. Because I'm looking at the gear list of what I need, and I've already got half of them relicked. This is my only focus that I need, and I don't even see how I can do it with all the Mark 6 med packs.
Oh man, those med packs are the freaking worst.
For the Gear 12 pluses.
Yes. Like to add them to the Gear 12 pluses and to Yep.
And the brand new characters that you have to farm up, as well as have Chirotechs for their gear.
Hero Poe is a jerk.
Yeah.
An absolute jerk to gear.
Not to mention 13. I don't know how many are going to be ships, whatever. But at least 10 relic tunes that all need 50 finisher salvage and 100 Chirotech. Just for that final finisher piece. So I don't see how you could do it.
I mean, that's the year. I mean, that is at least a year. Maybe we should be saying, instead of the 6 months to a year. It's probably closer to that, because you're totally right. So it would also be a really cool accomplishment at the same time. Like if you are at 2 million, or I mean, that would add so much GP. Let's say you're at 2.5 million GP and you have one of those without spending a ton, or spend a lot and do it. You know what I mean? Like that's the other answer. Like in some ways, I don't spend a lot on this game, but part of me says it's actually probably smarter for some of the things to spend money instead of time. Mm-hmm. Like if that's what you're focusing on, being like, oh, I got this free to play, and the other person being like, well, and I didn't have to play a game I didn't want to play for 2 hours a day. I just wanted to play it for 30 minutes a day, and I spent an extra $100 to do that. Like that's worth $100 of your time, if that's what you're going for. Now, if you want to play the game for 2 hours a day, great, cool. So that varies. I mean, we're looking at it from the not spending money aspect right now, I would say. So bust out that wallet if you want as well. I don't whatever you do you in that regard.
Maybe got a birthday coming up. You can get some gift cards.
That's one rich uncle that's gonna have to give you a lot of money for that one.
Hey man, girls gotta eat.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta eat Chirotech and finishers.
Yeah.
Good question. Number 3, Ski Trooper. In Grand Arena and to a lesser extent Territory Wars, what's the best use of CLS? Is building a counter to the gas company. We haven't used that in a long time. I feel like I should. That was a great name. I think it might have been Ski Troop actually to start with. If so, what comp and modding do you recommend? I do think the best use of CLS is as a Skywalker counter, but requires high relics, relic 5 at the minimum, and a specific team build. So I think that's the best use. Mine is not there already. So I just use it as a solid but not great offensive team. In Grand Arena, I don't get to use it in Territory Wars because other teams are better for most of it. Sergi, what do you use it on?
I love to use mine just as a 3-man.
Yeah, that too.
Chewie Han to take down whatever good B team is on defense. So I use it offensively a lot of times versus bounty hunters that annoy me, or Newt. That's what I've been using. The 3 of them can take down a Newt squad pretty well. And
Not be careful of a good Newt squad, by the way.
I have.
That's how it's my Newt squad is hard for CLS to take down, and people have been stuck on it per my GAC history that they try it. So it can work, but with the right team, it's a little tricky. Just saying. I'm defending my Newt, which is really more your Newt. Anyway, Sergi.
Now that you say that, I would bring R2D2 in with them versus Newt, so that with because you probably use Nest with your Newt.
I typically and L3.
The days
get that R2. He's a good one.
Yeah, the days all the junk debuffs that Newt's team puts on your scoundrels and rebels. You can cleanse Chewbacca just by getting a critical hit. So then he can keep doing his assist if you have R2. So with R2, it makes them very good versus Newt squad.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't use it on Newt. Just be careful.
Yeah.
Newt can get away from you with extort.
But as a gas counter would be great, but I don't have the consistency where I rely on it as a gas counter.
Even the people that have it really built up, I still feel like I hear a lot of
hit or miss.
It works, but I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can trust it for Grand Arena. Like that type of, like, if your entire Grand Arena is down to this battle and you're 60% on it, that's kind of iffy. Sarah, what's yours?
I also use him offensively, and I will do the same thing. I'll use him undermanned if I want to go for like an undermanned feat against bounty hunters.
Yep.
I don't want to say I save him towards the end, but I kind of will figure out who I need to use him against, and if I can get away with not using him right away, I'll figure out where I can use him later. I will use him as well against Newt. It's iffy. I like to roll the dice and use them against Nest.
Living on the edge.
It usually works. Give or take.
Now that was the hunted reaction right there. That was
Sometimes I think I always use him. I think.
Yeah. And by the way, I think we're just assuming everyone realizes this, but I think all 3 of us are talking about CLS with Han and Chewie.
Yes.
Like it's just they go together so much that we don't even bother to, like, CLS right now basically means Han and Chewie in addition to it. But there are other uses for him. It's not that you have to put him in there. I'm sure he could fit elsewhere too, but That would be with it. Again, I think a Skywalker counter would be the best option, but it's very expensive.
I don't have it built for that, so
I don't either.
it's not a thing.
Number 4, all right, RA898, friend of the show, dovetailing on the early game help request we brought up before. Is there a source, or would you provide an across-the-board gear goal for main required squads in the game? I think that is an entire That's No Moon segment on its own.
Yeah.
And from legendaries and heroic journeys to TB special mission mod guidelines, what pointers for mod sets, primaries, secondary goals, all of the above. I mean, that sounds like all things that should be answered on surgygames.com to me.
Do a little
Now that
call.
being said, we did in our old guild at least. We had like a 1-page relic. Like, this is where our teams we should try to focus on.
You
that
made
I
that,
made.
right, Faye?
Yep.
That looked great.
So maybe I can, because now it's 6 months old, I would say, but it's still relevant to. I love 1-page guides for things like this.
You should share it.
Like it. So we'll try to. I can put that out there. Like, it's kind of focused a little bit on Biston and like getting him. I no longer recommend Biston to Relic 3 with all the other stuff out there, like that type of stuff. But is something you can take a look at for those. But I'm not aware of any other resources. Like, we spent a lot of time as a guild. We had like committees and spent literally a month being like, well, should this guy be Relic 4? Should this one be Relic 2? And stuff like that. And was for the guild. It was so like, why we didn't have it be out there. I think we're far enough away from it that it's not and literally the guild doesn't exist anymore. So it's not like a secret thing. But do you two know of any or have any thoughts on that?
I would say that these are great questions, things I would love to make for website or channel. My first answer would be that you want every character to gear 12. At gear 12, for most of the game, you can compete. And there are some that are better at gear 13, but most of the time, gear 12 competes, and you can get away with just having 1 or 2 tunes on a main squad at gear 13, relic, whatever.
Yep.
But at gear 12, they're solid still.
That's what I ascribe to the, other than your meta teams, like you should have who's your arena team be. Everyone should be good. But for all of my B tier teams, it's almost exclusively 1 or 2 like anchor tunes are high relic and everyone else is gear 12 type of thing. I think that's a solid plan lots of times for limited resources.
And then for mods, I generally shoot for at least plus 70, plus 80 speed on each tune. Just from speed secondaries. And for support tunes, a speed set and a potency set, because you just want them to go often to get their abilities out there. And for offensive tunes, offense set or a CD set with a CC set. And then for tanks, ever since they reworked the defense values for mods, defense sets are good. Defense primaries are not. So I just stack protection primaries, because most of your tunes are going to be gear 12, because you can't afford to get everybody to gear 13. Until gear 13, they don't have high health. So I just have a lot of protection primaries with 8 or 10 speed secondary and throw those on tanks.
I love protection.
Yeah.
That's like all. That's what I have on 90% of my ones, more than I should. But it's just like it's just so hard when you're like, do I add 200 more offense or 12,000 protection? And it's like every time I'm like, no protection. So I'm always short protection crosses and triangles are what I'm always looking for.
Only when you get to high relic are there rare occasions where health could be better.
And you 6E it, and
right.
You have to
then, and it has to be 6E. Yes, and
GK and Padme and those types of things.
Right,
Grievous.
And tenacity most of the time is useless. Just like curse avoidance and stuff like that. So most of the time you're not going to mod for tenacity, just because the tenacity potency war is usually lost.
The bait has already been decided. All right, number 5. Lots of Minx Quark Flight questions here. Thanks. So we'll. Can we further elaborate on the ducks versus horses? Fight the little horses. That's the end. Next question: how far is the progress? How far is the progress with the relic farms?
I think for Galactic Legends.
Oh, got it.
Is it worth the effort that others are putting in?
I would be shocked if it wasn't, is what I'm saying.
Same.
Yeah. I haven't calculated what the farm time.
Right now the answer is no, but most likely.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yes. I like, again, hoarding is almost always the answer until we know for sure for the kits, but I just can't fathom them not being fantastic.
For a long time.
Months. What do you think of the game changers all of a sudden coming back? McMole and Darth. Micro Sergi is the true game changer. I agree. I don't know about the other two.
I have no comment,
frankly. So they probably wanted or made a big deal about leaving and then realized that none of their viewers cared about anything else they were talking about.
Yep.
And lost a ton and realized that it wasn't so much them as the game, and came back to it from there. But I don't know. I don't watch their channel. So that Sergi, do you know or watch any of them?
I do. I don't think Darth Micro is coming back strong. I think he is mostly going to be doing Raid still. I haven't kept up with his announcements or whatever. But I think Raid is still his main game. But there's a lot of fans for Star Wars. This game is evergreen. To have lasted as long as it did.
Freaking 4 years.
Oh, yeah. For all the different stuff that's come out and like annoyances from the developers that people say, this is it. I'm done over this. This game is great. Yeah. There's tons of fans that...
Here we are talking about it for 2 hours every couple weeks. Yeah.
So it's a safe and good, easy decision to continue making content for this. Especially when people like Arnold, since you mentioned him, they can make their entire living off making videos every day. And there's plenty of people that love this game and keep watching it.
Yeah, good for them. I hope it works out.
Yeah.
I don't... There's a couple, like once every week or two, I'll see an Arnold one about, because there aren't any. I miss the game changers having access before.
Yeah.
And like, actually, like, is this one good at 7-star type of thing? And he in particular has been like buying them to 7 stars. So it's good to see. I just want like a 5-minute super good at year 13 or
yeah.
That's what I want out of them. Do you think matchmaking will be fixed? I think fixed, like, I still think matchmaking is silly. I really would prefer a tournament structure.
Yeah.
Where you win, like if you win the first, all the winners go to the next one. And in the very beginning, it's a little more random. Because I don't spend money on this game, but I would be a little bit irritated that I spend $100 on the game, and instead of getting matched with people that didn't do that,
Right.
I'm matched
Same
with
age
other
as
people
me,
that's
like
so
Arena.
like why spend the money? Because you're just gonna be going with harder matchups. Whereas if it naturally gets there, you get against a bunch of people that sure you outspent, but you beat them, and then you go to the next round, and then you're getting with other people that are in your range. That's how I always would have preferred it. I mean, maybe you guys will be different, but
I think it's great the way it is. I don't think matchmaking needs to be fixed because it depends on what you're saying is broken.
Yeah.
Matchmaking right now matches your top 80 versus their top 80. So
yep.
people can complain about giant GBP gaps, but that's because the non-80 tunes, the other 100-something tunes, are built up more, but you're never going to use them. Like, it was smart to do the 80 versus 80 because that's 8 offense squads of 5, 8 defense squads of 5. If each of you win on your first attempt versus the enemy, you're only using the top 80 of your roster.
Yep. It is definitely a more, I would say, even. It was a simple solution to people getting blown out in the rounds. But I don't think it answers the question of what they touted Grand Arena for as who is the best player.
Right.
Because it's just like, who is the best player that fits exactly in this like GP range is a different question for me then. So I agree with her. I don't think it's broken. This is as they intended, and I think working as they intended. It's not my preferred method. It doesn't make me as irritated as it used to. I get why they did it.
And while it can be annoying that the better you get, the harder your opponents, you get better for the other game modes.
Yeah. Yep.
Once you hit the top ring of Grand Arena, no, it's not beneficial, but when you build up, you're building up for the other game modes. And a lot of the new stuff, you build up tunes that are not part of your top 80. So you're really not affecting your matchmaking by chasing the new meta from what you were challenging before.
Yep. And let's be like, for me, relicking Rose, like part of the reason a lot of people don't want to do that is like, wow, you're going to get the poor Grand Arena matchups. I've stopped caring about that, I guess. One, Grand Arena winning or not doesn't make all that difference in rewards, frankly. But two, like the game of trying to cheat the system, I don't know. It just seems like it's more hassle than it's worth. And you feel like it's more fun when it's people that you're actually challenged against from time to time. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind one of the 4 battles being placed with people that are a lot worse than me just so I can feel better about myself. But other than that, I think they'll be set up. Question, last one here, a little bit of a bigger one. Trying to go too much into Sarah, what is the next big thing in the game? What is the PvE? I'm going to say right away, I do think it's a galactic war type of never-ending one.
A type of never-ending galactic war?
Correct, like a survival mode, per se. Like it just keeps, if your teams keep going until you get there.
Like in Marvel Strike Force.
From what you guys, I've never played it, but from what you guys have told me, yes.
I hope not.
Yep. That's why I think they'll do it.
Oh, I hope not. I don't know, because I feel like we're so hyper focused on Galactic Legends. We're due for a raid, so, but I mean, if Galactic Legends are a raid, that's the raid there.
Right. I think if they come out with a new game mode My thoughts are, since they were just talking about a new PvE game mode, it'll be something where you can do it once or twice a week, or however, maybe each day, something. But it's going to have a lot of RNG as to who your opponents will be and what decisions they will make. So you will keep coming into play, but you playing that day won't have the same bad guys as your friend playing that.
Right.
Because all they got to do is, let's say they create 10 bosses and 10 sub bosses, like the first phase of the Rancor, got boss and 2 sub bosses, and just make it completely random who gets paired together, so that you then have this one boss this day with 2 random sub bosses, and it completely changes the dynamic of how to play against it, and therefore they've got a never-ending new hard
Right, that combination.
dynamic, yeah, game mode.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. And then everyone will just whine that they got the hard one that day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for the same one. But that would, like, those, it's kind of like board games where sometimes you have, like Trivial Pursuit, for example, you have specific questions. If you go through all the questions, it doesn't change. But other games are, you have all these cards, but when you add them in combination, it almost makes it an infinite combination of things that you can continue to do.
Right.
So I think that would be a great idea. It's not like there's more. It's like the same number of questions, if you will, but because you can combine them, it opens
multiplies the different.
Yes. Amazing what exponential factors will do. All right. Thanks, Minx. Appreciate it. Lots of good questions. Number 6, a couple more. Superhero, EO66. I believe it's your first one. Thanks for coming on. How do your guild leaders respond when someone gets a star in territory battle when the plan is to sandbag? That's great. That's a great question. It seems like people either go crazy in Discord or say nothing. I'm trying to find a good middle way to communicate disappointment without seeming like to attack a guildmate.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a question on how to be a good manager.
Yep.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Sir G, do you have anything to start off with that one?
I would say lock the battle and 10 million to it or whatever, like Sarah's guild does, so that they can't go over without it registering a rogue action, without it being clear to them you're doing something that the guild does not want you to do. Unless you've got an explicit permission, you should know red flags. Oh, guild officers have not permitted this battle to be.
And then if they do beyond that, I don't know the first time, but in my view, that's a bootable offense.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat like, probably not the first time. I totally get it. But once, if you do what you guys described there, it is a willful action to go above there.
Right. It depends on your motivation. Like if they
correct. And like,
I wanted to do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know that it gets like I'm going to use for an example, early on in the game, before I did any Discord or anything like that, like in-game chat, Rancor, we had this ridiculous rule that was like, and I think a lot of people had it, was you had to get 500, you couldn't get above 500,000 damage.
We had that 1 million
for the first 24 hours or whatever it was. But invariably, it's going to get to a point where someone's like, oh, oops, I accidentally went over.
Yeah.
Where they did, or some people, like, they were always the ones, like, you either need to have rules on this or you don't have it. And if someone breaks it once, maybe there's a warning. But if it happens again, I don't think there's any use in going crazy about it. Like, it should just be a set. If you do it again, you're out, whether we like you or not. I just don't know any other way around it personally.
And I wouldn't say anything publicly besides this player did this and we're handling it.
Mm-hmm.
And then private DMs, you can attack him.
The thing with territory battles is everyone's going to know who got the star because the game tells you who got the star.
Yep.
So he's already on blast for getting it. Like everyone, you can't even, it's not like in territory war where someone preloads a squad and you don't know unless you were watching, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this question has me because I help coordinate territory battles.
Stressing out about this stuff.
I'm stressing out, but I
can see Sarah like breaking out in hives about this question.
I also have all of these questions now where I'm like, well, what is your strategy? How, like, do you lock battles? Do you communicate what you're doing? Do you explain the math to there's all of this, like, my mind is kind of spinning now with like what actually happens. I would do exactly what Sir G said, and like I would at the guild and say, hey, like, we know we gained a star here. We were not supposed to gain a star here. We're handling it right now. Won't happen next time. And then hop in the DMs of the player and explain to him why you're not gaining a star. Explain to him that the idea is to give yourself enough padding so that instead of only gaining 1 star there, you can actually gain 2 or possibly 3 stars. And you're getting better rewards for it that way. And if they still don't get it, then you're just going to have to tell him, like, and because I've done this in ODB where we've explained it and some people didn't really understand why we were doing it. And it came down to just do it. Like, just do what we say. And when we lock the battles, we lock deployments, and like all caps, we're like, do not gain a star 100%. And every phase I blast the guild and I say, we are not gaining a star here. You are not touching this section. Don't do it. So it's a lot of like being repetitive and hand-holding, but you kind of just have to do it.
The wonders of being a guild leader. So great. That's again, that's not just a Galaxy of Heroes question for me. That's like a deep question on life, on like why it's hard to be a boss type of thing.
And we will, just to springboard off of like locking everything, we will coordinate it so that if people are going in there, if we want to get, like, we literally tiptoed to the line in
right. You want to be 500,000 or less away for next time.
I'm not exaggerating. We were about 300.
Ooh, 300. That's
like we were right, and we coordinated it. We were like, how much do you have? Okay, you can go in now. How much do you have? And like, it's just like, it's so micromanagerial that that's the only way you can get as close as possible. And it gets to a point where when we get to about 5 million away, we don't even let anyone except the officers do it. Like, no one's touching it. That's not an officer. So it's just a matter of, and if they are, they have to ask permission.
Yeah. And this, like, it seems pretty simple to figure out, but 50 people and 50 people that just want to play a game. I also get, like, last time I enjoy light side territory battles. And like, by the time I was able to play, all of our stuff was done. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, you know what? I was actually like looking forward to playing the game. I'm a pain in the ass that we have 0 stars here. Yeah. But I also understand that doesn't mean I'm just gonna whatever. It's again, we're like, now we're getting into like the rules of living in society and you know what I mean? Like, there's the trade-off of, well, I want to be in the guild, but I also just want to do whatever the hell I want. That's not how life works.
Yeah. And then you'll just get booted and you can go be in another guild.
Like I said, that's why I think that's a reason.
I think it's bootable.
You have to have rewards. I mean, you have to have punishments that are clearly defined.
It's one of those circumstances where, unfortunately, you have now screwed over 49 other people.
Yep.
So.
Number 7, double bluff. What would you advise for the week if you had forgotten to sign up for Grand Arena? Wah, wah. Go outside, feel the sunshine on your face, and talk to real live people, or wallow in deep self-pity whilst listening to guildmates' stories of epic battles. Sir G, what would you? He brought that up on here. Yeah, that's what you should do, but would you actually do it?
I would.
I think I would too.
Experience, because this week,
oh yeah, that's a great analogy there.
I worked on Sunday, and then for some reason it would not let me return home.
Yeah,
and so I am guildless this week. Without
for a whole territory battle.
A whole territory battle. The most important thing in the game, in my opinion. Best rewards.
Mm-hmm.
But so instead of hurting myself with...
Yeah, that sounds like you're in the wallowing part.
Well, instead of keeping up with the territory battle of the guild I should be in, I am just tuning out. It's nice.
Good.
A little break is probably nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're not in a guild, you think, well, I don't have to do TB.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't any raids that are going on. I don't have to produce tickets because I can.
You're not accountable for.
Yeah.
It's not having a job, but you're also not getting paid. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally just getting, like, you got laid off for a week.
But you still do arena for the crystals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, you're still living life. You're just not getting that extra paycheck of your job.
Which makes me wonder if being in a guild that has no communication, where in-game is the only way they communicate, and it's just like, hey, we're doing this. Everyone try to battle. If it's actually very... relieving.
Yeah, I think we said that last time.
Probably.
I wouldn't mind. I want the territory battle rewards, but territory war and stuff like that, I could see myself just being like, nope, I don't care about any of that other stuff. And just we got destroyed. The rewards aren't all that different. I just want to play for 10 minutes and be done versus like waiting for each zone. Yeah. Most of the time I like it, but I wouldn't mind a break every once in a while. Mm-hmm. I hear you. All right. I think I would also recommend the sunshine. But counterpoint, coronavirus. Stay inside and play Galaxy of Heroes. So keep that in mind, listeners in Italy.
Anywhere.
Yeah, that's what it will be. Next time I'll have my mask on.
What's it like in Canada, Sarah?
Sidebar. There is a confirmed case like down the street from me. I went to Costco today. Worst decision of my life. I have never seen it so insane with people stocking up as if it's the plague. And I've never seen shelves at Costco be empty.
Even like the ones you can't even literally reach, like they're crawling on top of each other, like World War Z type of thing.
And the thing is, like, because Costco is a zoo on a good day, people are still milling about like the empty spots where the Kleenexes and toilet paper and everything is supposed to be. And it's like, all right.
I don't get it. Like, what?
Nothing here. Let's go. Boom. So we're all gonna die. If you don't hear from me, it's
got it. All right. Yes. It'll be a more somber tone than this next week then when you're actually gone. But right now it makes for a good bit. I enjoy it.
I'm going on vacation next week, so maybe I'll come back with it. Who knows?
All right. Good luck.
This is why we do this through Zoom over the internet. Instead of a round
We've been
table.
planning for this for a long time. We actually all live in the same town, people.
Yes.
You pretend you're from California and that you're Canadian. I mean, who would believe that garbage?
It's a fake Canadian accent.
Yeah, those boots aren't real.
Hey.
Number 8, last one. Corbs today. Do you think Galactic Legend Ray, Super Ray, as we now know, has an advantage in light side TB? Is the hardest game mode, and that will give her a big advantage? Quick answer to me is yes. That's a good reason why I'm doing her over Ray or over Kylo. But anyway, following that idea, what tags do you think she will have? Jedi. That would make a big difference with some team synergy and availability in territory battle. Mm-hmm. Sarah, will she be a Jedi? And do you think that's an extra benefit of going for Rey, that light side TB is harder?
I mean, one of the reasons why I wanted to go for her is because she's light side, and that's where in TB it's harder. Other than the fact that it's resistance, and I'm just going to go for that.
Right. That's the. I mean, that's kind of a loaded question for you and me for that regard. But
yeah, I think she is going to be useful. They basically said that these guys are going to be sort of plug and play with light side and dark side, depending which one you get, obviously. And it's going to affect your squad. So I think that regardless of the tags she has, whether it's Jedi, resistance, she's still going to be good on whatever team you put her on. Maybe she's not going to be good with your Relic 5 Rose. I don't know if anything can save that.
Yeah. But don't skirt the question here.
Yeah.
Will she be Jedi? Yes or no? We need the Sarah answer. Don't be like, well, I don't know if. No.
Yeah.
Sarah says,
Jedi,
write this down.
Jedi, resistance, and they have to include a Galactic Legend tag because there's got to be a code in there somewhere so that
you can't have two of them. Yeah,
you can't have them together, so they have to have a tag somehow, and that's going to be the easiest option. So Jedi, resistance, Galactic Legend. I can't see her being anything else other than like the obvious, like light side, and then if she's an attacker or support or whatever they put her as.
She's clearly a tank.
Clearly a tank.
That's still one of the dumbest tags in the whole game is the tank one. That's so dumb.
But yes, I think she will be tagged Jedi.
Sergi,
she's a Jedi.
Yeah. I hope she's tagged Jedi. I'm really annoyed that we've had a trilogy with a light side blue saber force wielder and a dark side red saber force wielder, yet neither are labeled Jedi or Sith in the game.
Yeah.
Really annoying. So they better make these final versions have Kylo with a Sith and Rey with Jedi. I don't care what kind of politics or philosophy you have to discuss. Make them Jedi and Sith.
Agreed. I like that's the whole point of the movie is like she is not just Jedi, but like all Jedi. Like that was the whole point of the ending of the movie is like all of them are
in her.
She should be 100% Jedi. I think we're all on the same page.
But you can't make her Jedi without him being Sith.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah, and then on the counterpoint for Kylo, like he clearly went to Mustafar, like he has all the Sith stuff and was going to start be part of that, and he should be
was
Sith
the apprentice
as well.
To Palpatine in the latest movie.
Yeah, I mean, I totally.
Yeah,
I think since I'm going after Rey, that she should be Jedi, but Kylo should not be Sith. If I had to, I don't know if they were asking me on what they should do.
And I think that she should have that. I don't think it will make a difference in TB. Her Jedi tag is not going to let her resistance help with the Jedi mission.
Right, because then you're still like you probably still want her with resistance.
Right.
Yeah.
But like if your other resistance aren't good enough, well, your resistance have to be good enough to get her up there. You know what I mean? Like maybe you could still make Jedi Rey work or Jedi Training Rey work with another one. And then you would throw her in, but she wouldn't be the leader anymore. Probably she'd be like the 5th member of your Jedi Knight Revan squad. And is that truly the best place for her? I highly doubt that's the case, but it could be.
You have to.
Yeah, I don't think she'll help. Except maybe the resistance with her will do great.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I truly think it'll be, a resistance team that she's used in White Side.
This is all like way in the future because we're not going to get her to 7-star to use her for a while.
We will see.
I mean, yeah, anyway. But once you unlock her, she'll be 7. Meta report is a lot of Skywalker, 74%, 15 for Darth Revan, Padme at 9. So again, like always, this is no paper, rock, scissors meta, as we said from the beginning that other people had brought up. It's other people haven't unlocked it all the way yet meta. And now you see it. The fleet is 78% negotiator and 13% malevolence. So that's high. Let's see here. Radis at 15 and Finalizer at 28. Again, some of those, like I've had a Radis be at one of those, but just because I was messing around with it when my payout happened, not because I truly climbed for it. But currently, Negotiator is beating Radis 10,743 to 15. That's close. It's close. Last but not least, let's head to Uncle and Smush Farm, talk about who and what we are currently farming in the game, because everyone knows work comes before going to Tashi Station to pick up power converters. For the first time in what I think might be like a year, I feel like this is a relevant question because there are multiple things to actually farm. Does that make sense? Like this is, even if you're at end game and have everything, like they've released enough marquees to be farmable now that you have to decide maybe not where to use but at least to do refreshes or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is the first time in a while that some choices have to be made on farming for everyone. I would say. Sarah, what are you farming?
Everything.
Yeah, that's what. And so are you like Hyena, Y-Wing, Sith Trooper, Hux, Hero Finn, and not doing any refreshes?
I am doing Hyena, Y-Wing, Sith Trooper, Hux, Finn, Matt's shuttle, because I need 18 more shards of it.
Oh, God, to even get to the...
What's the other ship I was farming? There's another ship. No, there's another ship. Not Vulture droid?
Vulture, got it.
Vulture, and then I refresh Finn. So I refresh him once. I'm spending all of my energy refreshes, farming all of the gear, farming
all the 50 refreshes.
All the 50 refreshes, and then I'm doing 3 Cantina refreshes on the relic mats, and I just kind of will do. I have about 100 and something of the square one.
Yep.
And then I will, when I farm throughout the day with my regular energy, I use all of my regular energy on that node, and then I will do 2 refreshes on the green relic mat, and 1 refresh, the last one on the blue one.
That seems wise. That's about the drop rate of them.
So, yeah, I am very crystal poor.
That was the sneakiest steal your money thing they've ever done.
Yeah, but I'm only refreshing Finn because I want resistance. And I will be done. Vulture droid's almost done, so I think he's Vulture droid or Hyena. One of them is almost at 100.
Probably Vulture.
And
Vulture was first.
Yeah, and Matt's ship only needs 18 shards. So once I get those, and that's energy I don't need to waste on that, and can go towards gear.
Excellent. Sergi? Similar, same, different?
I decided, since most players are going to go for Rey, I was going to focus on Kylo.
I think that's a wise. I like the reasoning. I've thought of that the same.
But I wish I hadn't invested a lot of relic stuff into my resistance already. I mean, for resistance, I think I already took pilot to gear 12,
Mhm.
and resistance trooper to R5, then to R5.
Oh, got it. You're already Indian with some
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm still doing okay since swapping over to First Order, where I got Kylo Ren Unmasked to Relic 7, Executioner to 5, First Order Officer to 5, Kylo Ren Normal to Relic 6, and I only need 2 pieces for Phasma, 1 piece for Stormtrooper, and 1 piece for TIE Special Forces TIE Pilot until each of them are gear 13. Sith Trooper is my real weak spot. And then I also, in the last week, got Veteran Han to gear 12.
Oh, got it.
Whoa.
Nice.
Getting him to gear 13 is going to be awful. Because of all the Mark 6 medpack things we talked about.
Mhm.
Boo,
Everybody else
yes.
already needs them. That's why
Boo.
everybody is 1 or 2 pieces away from gear 13. Just because of the stupid medpacks. But I'm hoping that my First Order will be up to par. I still have 9,000 crystals, and I'm refreshing Hux and Sith Trooper once each day. I wonder if I should do twice, but until we know more about firm dates and how the ticket stuff is going to work, I'm not going to rush to get them built up. And if it does need the finalizer,
Yeah.
definitely don't need to do 2 refreshes a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm almost there. I don't think I can do the finalizer refreshes because it's 1,000 just for 10 shards.
Yeah. It's insane.
I don't like that. I can't
Yep.
afford that. But yeah, so hardcore going into First Order, and different from last time, I am refreshing the nodes once.
Excellent. Yeah, like I said, I'm worried that Kylo will be better than Rey, but like that she's going to be better in light side territory battle more. So I am doing one for all those things that you guys mentioned. Hyena, Y-wing, Sith Trooper, and Hux get 1 shot, and then Hero Finn gets 2 refreshes, and that basically takes up all of the data plus the 50 refreshes for those.
So neither of you are refreshing for Poe.
Oh, you can't yet. I will.
Oh, he's not.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Oh.
So as a matter of fact, I'm actually going to do crystals on his shipments to catch him up to Finn. At this rate, Hero Finn will take 56 days from the time he started, so 49 from now ish. And then by the time Poe comes, that's like I have 10,000 crystals right now. That should build up over the next month to a little bit more. Like I'm going to buy some of the shipment ones to hopefully help him catch up to Finn. Won't be all the way, but that's my overarching plan. Hopefully he becomes farmable sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But we shall see.
Yeah.
And then I did, like I said, I got Holdo and Rose up to R5. Holdo, useful. Not terrible. I tried her against some
like
Geos, some really good Geos, and it took them a long time to get her down. They did eventually. I think if I played it a little bit different, you could take them down on offense a little bit better. But Holdo, not a bad Relic 5 at all. Totally fine. And she also has, but like adding a Zeta to her was like 8,000 GP or something. It's like, oh boy, all right, I'm just all in. I guess I'm gonna lose, but
Faye, I still don't get how you were so hesitant for months to put a Zeta on Daka.
Because for things like this,
No.
yeah, that's the one. Once you get to a point, I needed to hit 300. That's just a thing internally. That's an OCD thing, and then.
There's been no indicator.
The plan was to do it like in case they need it. And then the more I saw them all the time there, is just like, it's just going to bother me. I'm just doing them all. So I did them all.
Man.
And I'm still like, of all of them, even more than Rose's, I regret DACA's the most, but I'm okay with it. It's clearly a better Zeta, but it's just like, it's a required Zeta. It's boring. It's dumb. Rose's is dumb fun. It's not very smart to do, but it's more exciting that other people don't have it to me.
Crazy.
And I want to make it work. Rose, you suck, but I want to make it work. So we'll find out. Like I said, I would love to have Relic, DACA, Django. Like there are like 7 to 8 tunes that I would love to have Relic more than these Resistance ones, but I'm in. It's happening.
You're doing it.
This is my goal in the game right now, is Galactic Legend Ray. So we'll see. Also, my most powerful ship right now, GP wise, is the Millennium Falcon Episode 8, which is silly.
Wow.
Yeah, because you've got Finn and Ray on it, right?
With their Zetas and Relic 7, Relic 5. It's it actually hits pretty hard with its AoE, but other than that.
My most powerful is that one as well.
All right, good for you.
So that should surprise no one.
Any other final comments? By next time you hear us, I do appreciate they've been on a very consistent, like every 2 weeks, they've been giving us the requirements and stuff. So by the time we talk next time, we should have at least the last requirements. I would think we'll know their kits as well. So stay tuned for a big episode next time.
That'd be awesome.
Boy.
About time.
Yeah. That was, literally November, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That they said this, and we were just like, they needed to announce, like, oh, don't worry, they're not coming in December. And then it was like, okay, cool. It's going to be the end of March.
Yep.
That's 5 months. 4, I guess, but 5 from the crazy. Nice chatting, Sergi. Enjoy your non-territory battle, your time away from like family or whatever weird things like that. And Sarah, stay away from other people. It sounds
I do that normally, so we're good there.
That'll do it. Until next time, Chewie, we're home.